What it do? How y'all doing today? It's your girl Tanisha Braid. I just simply stopped by to empower, uplift one's faith, to be hungry for more of His will for your life. How about that? Okay, let's get into it. So today I'm going to talk about finding faith to float. And years ago, before I start, my friend had this Monday through Friday. She assigned each one of us something to get on there to do and encourage and inspire each other, really. And mine was on Fridays, and I did Faithful Fridays, which is where it came from years ago, right? But then it wasn't before you all. It was just like on the phone and people could hear it, okay? So I found the message that I did years ago that just blessed me when I was rereading it, like, yes, Lord, yes, that's what I'm talking about. Sometimes you need to encourage yourself, be reassured by yourself, that God is who He is, okay? And so, finding faith to float. For we walk by faith and not by sight, okay? We know that. That means that I'm walking it out. I can see it. Maybe nobody else can see it. It's not done yet. But God showed me, so I got to believe it and move in it the way He told me to move in it to see it come to the end, okay? You get it? All right. Faith without works is dead. What does that mean? That means that if I ain't out here walking, if I ain't moving in it, if I ain't trying to make it happen, it's probably not going to happen, because God said, I need you to move in it. I need you to move in it in faith. That means that you believe me for it. So I need you to move in it accordingly so it can come to pass, right? You got to surround yourself with believers. You have to surround yourself with believers. You have to surround yourself with believers. What does that do for you? That empowers you. That keeps you on track. It holds you accountable. And if you're around dreamers or people always seeing the bigger picture, you dream bigger, you know what I mean? Or like you have people that have your back. We all dream in this dream. We're all lovers of the Lord. That's a good feeling. Rather than being around somebody that's always talking about somebody, always nagging, always mad, ain't never got nothing good going on in life. Like, that's a killjoy spirit. And in my age and time now, I choose not to really deal with that. You can pick and choose where you want to be, who you want to be around. Change your environment. Sometimes we got to change our environment. You know what I'm saying? All the above. So surround yourself with believers. And you have to tell the good news. You have to always continuously share what the Lord has done for you, because somebody over here can overcome by your testimony. How about that? If they always see you saying, this is going to happen, I believe God for this, and then it does, that's going to make their faith rise up, because they're like, man, okay, it might be something to the Lord. How about that? And so it's like, it says, have you ever had an assignment so divinely inspired, so God ordained, that you couldn't think about anything else? Part of a dream, your heart's desire to own your own home, getting out of debt, writing a book, or maybe it was just to raise a God-honoring, Lord-loving family. Maybe you just want everybody in your house saved. Maybe that's just your dream, right? For everybody to go see the Lord, okay? Or, like Noah, maybe your assignment was from God, was something you didn't understand at first, okay? It may seem mysterious and even crazy, like downright crazy. Something that others don't understand, and you don't even know how to explain it to them. You just know what God showed you, right? Other than, I must obey His directions. That's all you know. That's all you can tell Him. It's like, God told me this, God showed me this, and I got to move accordingly. Faith without works is dead. How about that? And the Lord told me to walk it out, and I'm going to walk it out. That's literally how you got to be, right? Let's talk about Noah, okay? Noah was 600 years old during time of his assignment. He was a righteous man, the only blameless man living on earth at the time. He constantly followed God's will and enjoyed a close relationship with Him. Because of this, he found favor with the Lord, okay? God gave Noah specific instructions, specific directions from God, okay? To build an ark, quite like a cruise ship, gather animals and the family. We all know the story. Get one of each, male, female, and bring your family, okay? And he had to make everything himself. As old as he was, he couldn't go to Home Depot or Lowe's and, and ask somebody to do it for him or pay somebody to do it for him. He had to do what God said. And that's not what God said. God said, I need you to build it, right? He had to learn that God's ways are not man's ways. He had matured in his faith. So he could discern God's will and just do it. Like, God tell him something, he's like, okay, I got this. I know who he is. I know I'm favored from the Lord. I'm going to walk it out and do what he say. So he just do it, right? He heard God's call and answered with no hesitation. With no hesitation, okay? How many times do we hesitate when we hear from God? All the time. Like, I don't have money to do that. Lord, do I really got to say that? Do you really need me to go over there? All the time. I hesitate every time I get on here. Like, it's just what we do. It's just human nature. We're just going to hesitate a little bit unless you get it all together and you put together. You're like, I'm going to do it. But sometimes somebody needs that extra to get up and do it, okay? That's where faith comes in, because you believe the Lord with all your heart. What he said is going to come to pass. You're going to walk it out, okay? And it says, so ask yourself, what is God calling you to accomplish in your life? What unique structure did he tell you to build? Something so special and fresh that you've not seen or heard before? God is waiting on you to follow instructions and build it. Start it. It may not be, it could be whatever your business is for you, whatever that thing is God showed you, whatever you're starting from ground up, build it. How about that? What pieces should you be assembling in your life? We all have all kinds of excuses why we can't do something, instead of having a demonstrate Noah style faith. A faith that floats. A faith that floats, baby. Do you understand? Okay? Okay, calm down. So, we forget God always gives us directions. Instructions for building new things. Okay, an example. You buy something and they give you directions. My husband don't like reading directions, but they give you instructions, directions on how to assemble some for the finished product, right? So you have to go by what they say, or it might be something off or something loose or something not closing right because you didn't follow directions, right? So, in Matthew 19:26, it says, with man it is impossible to please him, but with God, all things are possible. All things are possible, right? He knows what we are capable of. We limit ourselves because we are scared, we fearful, we don't want to take the risk. Example, Thomas Edison made hundreds of attempts to get an electric light bulb to work before it lit. Listen to that. He did, Thomas Edison now. How many attempts do you think he did before that light bulb lit up, right? And how many have light bulbs in your homes today? How many lights are on because of him? How about that? You know what I'm saying? But it was a process that I'm sure it didn't turn on the first time. But after he tried it again and again until he got it right with God's help and instructions, we all have lights now. How about that? Light bulbs, all that. Okay, if we trust in him, he will use everything in our lives to equip us. He will use what you have now, whatever your gifts is now. He will start you with what you got now to work with. What little resources do you have now to start? You don't have to get in a room. I'm not in a room with a big flower screen behind me and Faithful Friday in the air and all that. Like, maybe in time, but that's not what God said do. He didn't say get all put together. He said I gave you specific instructions, move accordingly, right? So we just need to obey him and demonstrate that our faith floats, meaning that we're going to stay the course regardless. Whether we feel like we're sinking, whether we feel like we can't go another moment, another minute, another day, we're going to float on. How about that? We may go under a few times, but our faith always rises to the top. Yes, Lord! You can't understand it now, but by and by, it will all make sense, okay? There is more to you than meets the eye. When you're willing to have faith that floats, woo, you will see dry lands and a rainbow just as Noah did. Noah didn't say, I'm going to use 7 of these nails instead of 5. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he had specific instructions. He didn't say, I don't see the rain. Why you putting me in? He had specific instructions, okay? Follow me. Specific instructions. What he told Noah, everybody else could have easily been like, but why are we? Noah had specific instructions, and he had his faith and trust in the Lord above, so he's going to walk that thing out, right? Because remember, faith without works is dead. So I challenge you today. He uses us to bring about new life. Think about what is God calling you to build in your life. Maybe it's yourself up. Maybe it's your faith up. Maybe it's not something, like a home or something. Maybe it's a business to inspire. Maybe it's you. Maybe he want to build you up. So he give you specific instructions like, I need you to start waking up and praying at this time. I need you to start reading every day at this time instead of watching this show. I need you to worship me when you don't have it. I need you to praise me when you can't see it. Maybe he give you specific instructions to build yourself up. How about that? He did it to me. So I know he can do it for you, right? And daily. It's a daily thing, okay? So, what is God calling you to build in your life, and how it can be used to bless others on today? So whatever God is giving you, 9 times out of 10 is not just for you. It's to be a blessing to others, to multiple people, to generations, to nations, to a world changer. I serve a big God, so I believe God for big things. So I'm going to stand on what he told me. It doesn't matter if I don't see the land. I know that God showed me someone's going to donate the land, and I'm going to keep speaking that to someone donates the land. Yes, Lord. Because it is coming, I'm telling you, okay? I'm going to keep serving. I'm going to keep showing love to these kids. I'm going to keep not charging for these events because God says show love. He didn't say go charge them. He said show love. I give you specific instructions, okay? Because I have to remember, he's the provider. He's always in the midst. Can't explain half of the 9 years, but I know it was God, okay, for the bigger picture. So I have to stay the course. I have to stay floating on his word, on what he showed me, on what he told me. You understand? Like, God is not a man that he shall lie. Stand on his word, call him out on it. I have faith of the mustard seed, faith of a sprinkle of salt, whatever. I have big faith to believe that whatever God says is going to come to pass, okay? And so this just blessed me because as I continue this journey with Market Equals Land, I hope the Miracle Parkway is not easy. It's not easy year after year after year. Just believing for the promise, you know what I'm saying? But I have made up in my mind that if God never does anything else, he's done enough. You understand? If I don't see the promise on this side of the grave, my hope might be shaken, but my faith will never break. Yes, Lord, I do believe. And you have to have that North style faith just like that, because if I'd have gave up a long time ago, it's going into this is our 9th year, you know what I mean? Like, all the things that have happened wouldn't have happened if I'm going to start. Harvey Park wouldn't have a handicap accessible swing. Fairview Park may not have ADA swings. Mary County Park's expanding on some things for special needs. Like, I look back and it doesn't matter because I'm still doing what God said do, and he said serve. Stay afloat. Keep your faith. Don't go under. Don't get distracted. Don't get sidetracked. Focus on yourself. Focus on the Lord. Build yourself up in him the more, and watch God come through. Watch him. Yes, Lord, every single time. Yes, Lord, and not that he's done something so great today other than I'm here, I'm alive. That's enough in itself. But just that I can just feel, I can just touch it. You know what I'm saying? So I have to stay the course, stay afloat, stay like Noah, follow instructions. Because one day it'll all make sense, okay? So I encourage you today to have North-style faith, stay afloat, stay focused on what God showed you, stay determined, keep following his instructions, not our own, because Our ways are not the Lord's ways. And he said, for I know the plans of your future. I, not me. He does, okay? So, in that on today, just be blessed to keep the faith, keep going, stay strong, don't give up, because he's still a healer, he's still a deliverer, he's still a provider, he's still your savior. How about that? God is so good. I can't tell it all, but I can say that his promises are true. Yes and amen. Y'all be blessed today. Have a happy, faithful Friday. Be encouragement to somebody. Don't be a killjoy spirit. Go around people and encourage and lift up, inspire for more, for better. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't nobody want to hear all that unnecessary chatter, as my friend says. So y'all be blessed on today. Noah style faith.